Hey, Coach Aaron here for another 5-minute flag football video. This time we're talking about zone. So in the other video you might have seen, we talked about man coverage. Now we're talking about our defense and how we're going to play zone. So here you can see that I've drawn some circles around the basic areas that everyone will be covering in zone. So when we're in zone, we are covering space. We're not necessarily covering a specific man, we're covering whoever comes into our space. So you can see here that the middle linebacker is responsible for this area, the ends are responsible for this area, the safeties are kind of over the top, as we say. They're taking their first step back and they're looking for anything that's on the deep halves of the field. So we would say, so these two safeties are playing cover 2, which means they each have one half of the field deep. So this is the basic scenario, is that sometimes what happens in zone is really good because instead of focusing on a particular person, what if that person is faster than me and they run right by me, instead zone focuses on an area. So if this center, let's say he is really fast, and he is running right into this area, the middle linebacker is going to have him. But what happens if he does what's called an out route and he starts going out this way? Well, now it's going to be the end's job to cover him, right? And then by the time he gets out here, the end is going to have to make a decision to either go with him or to let him go. Most of the time, we'll get to that in a second. Generally speaking, there's two kinds of zone that we will play in flag football. One is called zone stay, which is you basically stay in your area, you never leave it. Another is called zone go, which we can talk about in a minute. Zone go is a little more complicated. So to start, we're going to mostly talk about zone stay, which means you're in your area. If somebody's in your area, you cover them. If they're not in your area, you let them go. So if this center goes straight up the middle linebacker is going to go with him until he hits this 7 or 8 yard level, and then he's going to let him go and turn around and look for somebody else in his area. If no one else is in his area or no one else is coming, everyone's down the field, then of course the middle linebacker can go back and find somebody to cover. But to begin with, the initial reaction of the middle linebacker, he's going to cover him while he's here. Once he gets to there, he lets him go, and then the middle linebacker turns around and looks for somebody else to cover. Same way here, right? So if the Y is going to go deep, he's coming up here, the end covers him. Let's say he runs a post this way. Now end is letting him go, and the end is turning his shoulders around, turning his head around to look back in this area right here to see, like, oh, is anyone coming? Is anyone coming right here? Because what ends up happening most of the time is people don't just run straight, right? The offense doesn't just run straight. The Y might be coming up and going this way. The center might be doing an out route, coming in here and going this way. So if the end goes with the Y, then the center is going to be wide open. So yeah, that's basically the idea with zone, is when somebody comes in your area, you got to cover them. Safeties, let's talk about the safeties in zone a little bit. The safeties are over the top. They should be watching what's going on. If no one is coming in your area, let's say they do like this. The running back goes straight up the field this way. The Y goes straight up the field this way. Now, once the Y gets to here, right, the end is turning around and he's looking, is anybody else coming? Let's say the center is also coming this way. They're flooding it, right? The X is going to come up and across, okay? So watch what happens. The RB came straight up the field. The center came up. The middle linebacker had to let them go, and now he's up here. The Y went up. The end had covered him, and then he let him go. Now he's here. The X is coming across. If the middle linebacker doesn't let the running back go, the X is going to be open. If the end doesn't let the Y go, if the X is coming across here, he's going to be open. But watch this. The middle linebacker, he needs to be watching. So he let the RB go, right? Middle linebacker actually let the center go and the RB go. After he let's start again and rewind it because it's getting a little complicated. Let's only look at the middle linebacker right now to make it easier. And we'll watch the progression of what happens here. So focus on it as if you're the middle linebacker. Center comes up. He's blasting out of there, going deep. Lets him go. As soon as he lets him go, middle linebacker turns his head around and looks to see is anyone else coming. And wouldn't you know it, somebody else is coming. X is coming across. All right. Middle linebacker is covering him. All right. He's getting to this area. He's going to have to let him go. Okay. Now, all this is happening at the same time. Let's look at this end. All right. Y is coming up, blasting out of there. He's going super fast. The end knows he covers him till here, has to turn his head around. Is anyone coming? He sees X. Yes, X is coming. So he needs to make sure to let him go so he can cover X. Now, what's happening here? Center is blasting through this zone. Y is blasting through that zone. And now the safety is like, oh no, I got two guys. What am I going to do? Well, this safety should also be looking back to see is anyone on this side of the field. Turns out no one is on his side of the field. So, okay, he's got time. He can move over here and try to help. All right. Now, we didn't talk about the RB. All right. The RB, let's look what happens. If the RB came over this way, all right, this safety has to say, well, this RB is coming. I have to be careful of my zone, but then he also has to say, is my buddy, the safety over here, getting beat? If he is, he better go here. If he's not getting beat, then he better respect the RB. Because again, as this RB comes, he's coming up here, he's in the end zone and has him covered. RB's starting to leave the zone. What's the end do? He turns his head around and looks. Is anybody coming? No, it's totally empty. So end, let's go with the RB. But wait, the RB left his zone. Should end still go there? Yes, because he turned his head around. No one's coming. And let's go. So you can see how this could get very complicated, and it takes a lot of practice because people are going in zones or going out of the zones. There's this awkward area right here between zones where it's hard for one person to know who's got them and who doesn't. So there's a lot going on here. And that is why this 5-minute flag football video is now at 8 minutes. So I'm going to wrap it up there. But the takeaways here, in zone, you cover your area. You have to let people go if they leave your zone. But when you do let them go, you got to turn your head around and see, is anyone coming? If no one's coming, go help out.